Oh, what that time. This. Yes. The voice of the patriot, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, we would only just do it to build and not to destroy. This is in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the patriot and is the voice of the people. The voice of the people is the voice of God. My brother, my sister, this is time for action. Now, the very first story I want to look at is very interesting, and I need all of you to come along. My brother, my sister. It's Independence Day right here in this country, beautiful country called Ghana, and celebrations are ongoing. My brother, my sister. Now, the first story I would like to look at is right here, and I need you to come along. Now, the very first story I'm looking at is coming from Ghana Web, and it says, Mahama has appointed 100 ministers and deputy ministers. And this is Abu Jinapo speaking. Now, the member of parliament for Damongu, Samuel Abu Jinapo, has stated that President John Dramani Mahama, despite promising Ghanaians he would form the leanest government, has appointed a total of 100 ministers and deputy ministers. Making his submission on the floor of Parliament on Wednesday, March 5, 2025, he claimed that this has resulted in significant expenses for the National Treasury, contrary to what the President promised. President Mahama has formed arguably one of the largest governments in the history of our country in terms of cost to the national exchequer. Why do I say this? Take, for example, the appointment of Dr. Valerie Sawyer as Senior Presidential Advisor in charge of government affairs. Her rank is equivalent to that of a cabinet minister, who also serves as a member of parliament. This means her salary, emoluments, and conditions of service are the same as those of a cabinet minister who is also an MP. Mr. Speaker, the president has appointed a presidential advisor on the economy, a presidential advisor on the 24-hour economy, a presidential advisor and special aide to the president, a presidential advisor on the national anti-corruption campaign, and presidential advisor on diaspora affairs, he stated. He continued, Mr. Speaker. He has also appointed a presidential advisor, a presidential staffer, and special aide to the vice president, a presidential staffer for the Blakk Rasta experience, and a presidential advisor on diaspora affairs. Additionally, he has appointed 5 policy advisors to the vice president. Furthermore, he announced the appointment of a minister for agribusiness. Yet, he has also appointed a director of the presidency in charge of agriculture and agribusiness, my good friend, Peter Buama Otokono. Mr. Speaker, he claimed he will not appoint deputy ministers, yet he has appointed 16 presidential staffers in charge of the 16 regions of our country. In reality, when considering their cost to the national treasury, these presidential staffers essentially function as deputy ministers of state. I am honestly worried about the number of people President Mahama is appointing left, right, and center. I am scared. In fact, cockroaches are being appointed, lizards are being appointed, mosquitoes are being appointed left, right, and center. Mr. President, let's be honest and let's have it straight. If you have promised that we are going to have the leanest government is not only about ministers and deputy ministers. They involve and include all your appointees, for crying out loud. I am scared the rate at which appointments are flying all over the place. Is it a way to satisfy some people who supported the campaign? When you pass here, a cockroach has been appointed as something for something. A lizard is here, a frog is here. Then you check another corner. There is a bigger reptile there that is also appointed. It is a cause for alarm. What Abu Jinapo, who in my opinion is the worst minister this nation has ever produced. I have lost all respect for Abu Jinapo. And I've said it time and again. He was the worst minister this nation ever had. In his reign as the minister for lands, Galamsey rose all the way to the zenith. We saw the impunity with which our nation was wrecked in terms of our flora and fauna. Abu Jinapo should be bowing down his head in shame, my brother, my sister, for calling himself a former minister. He wrecked Ghana. If this was a serious country, somebody like this should be wallowing somewhere in the boulders of jail. My brother, my sister, that notwithstanding, he has made a point. And we need to look at the point. What point is he making? He has brought facts that the president has appointed so many different people. And it's almost like saying, I will not appoint deputy ministers, but you have a number of them who have been appointed in several different positions, albeit not in the ministries. It's almost like cutting here and going to slap it over there, robbing Peter to pay Paul in one way or the other. Mr. President, I know there is a lot of pressure on you. Everybody wants an appointment. Everybody's running helter-skelter. And we made it point blank right from the beginning that I will refuse any appointment by any government, any day, any time. So I am not somebody no one should ever consider for appointment. I will not take it. There were some people who said, oh, all these things Blakk Rasta is doing, he wants an appointment. Now it is clear. We don't want it. It is time people took Blakk Rasta seriously, beyond serious. Mr. President, with all love and respect, I have so much hope in you. I am ready to support you from here all the way down to El Dorado, where you seek to take this nation to. I am your brother. I love you, Mr. President. But you are actually appointing too many cockroaches and lizards. It's a drain to the coffers of this nation. I know there is so much pressure on you to satisfy any person who coughed in your direction during the campaign. But if you want to do so, you will end up ruining the big legacy that you intend to build. Maybe I should have spoken this one softly into your ears. But I know the bureaucracy that is involved in meeting you hours on end, because I don't envy you. Everybody wants to meet you, Mr. President. What Abu Jinapo has said makes sense to me until otherwise. Too many cockroaches and lizards are being appointed. Too many cockroaches, lizards, and grasshoppers, in fact, and gogomi, are being appointed. Let's watch it. It's the taxpayers' money. The money does not belong to the president. It doesn't belong to the vice president. It belongs to the people of Ghana, not even the presidency. It belongs to the people of Ghana. Please spend it wisely. Mr. President, I know you want to build a strong legacy. Don't follow the failed Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia path. They are a disgrace to this nation. Every day, every night, my brother, my sister, it is terrible. But I leave it there. I love you, Mr. President, and I will continue to love you because I know you have a good heart for this country. I will continue to love you. But where we need to straighten things, I will certainly be part of this strengthening. You are far better than Nana Akufo-Addo and Bawumia combined 1 million fold. Those guys were just comedians, jokers. As for Bawumia, he should never be allowed on any political platform. He has failed beyond fail. I leave it here. Now the next thing I want to look at is coming from my Joy Online, and it says, we shall live the dreams of our forebears in our lifetime. And this is Mahama speaking. Oh Lord. President John Mahama has called on all Ghanaians to live the dreams of the country's forefathers, expressing his belief that the vision they had for the nation can be realized within our lifetime. In his address during the 68th Independence Day anniversary at the Jubilee House on Thursday, that's today, March 6, President Mahama reflected on Ghana's rich history and the sacrifices made by the country's founding fathers. He emphasized the importance of unity, hard work, and dedication in fulfilling the aspirations that the nation's leaders envisioned when they fought for independence in 1957. As I said before, Parliament, we shall live the dreams of our forebears in our lifetime. This is not just a promise, it is a call to action. Wow. Such an expressive vituperation. You want to hear it again? An expressive vituperation. It carries power and energy. I have no doubt in my mind that this president wants to leave a legacy. My brother, my sister, now the first term as president of this nation, he completed the tenure of Atta Mills, his political mentor. Out of inexperience and the fact that he never expected probably to be president ever, he probably made a lot of mistakes that hurt you and me. Then he came again the second time. Even around this time, he still had the Ahoys and some other powerful houses around the NDC and beyond, who had to pull some strings left, right, and center and make him jump up like a puppet. Now, he has led the party to a victory of his own, right from the boulders and cinders of opposition. Blakk Rasta, say it again. From the cinders of opposition. Somebody explain this to somebody who doesn't understand. From the cinders, from the ashes of opposition, John Dramani Mahama, the baller boy, rose all the way to bring the NDC into power. Right now, he's more like it, a man of his own. He has proven beyond all doubt that right now, as it stands, he is carrying his own cross. So anything the president will do, my brother, my sister, there would never be any excuse. Can I go deeper? Mr. President is speaking the language I want to hear. What language is he speaking? He said the forebearers of this nation, their dreams shall be our dreams, and we shall live these dreams in these times. Hallelujah. He's not saying you should die and go to heaven before you see Angel Gabriel. He's not saying that you should die and go to your grave where an angel, Munkar and Nakir, your left and your right, will come over to you, and then they would ask you, Marabuka. Right now on earth, like the Jehovah's Witnesses believe, you shall taste heaven. Hallelujah. He is not telling you that you are standing on top of Mount Sinai. There you are looking at Canaan, but your feet will never touch there. He's saying you are seeing Canaan, and you shall walk and manifest the glory of tasting the power of Satan. Canaan. Hallelujah. Mr. President, may I, from my little head, make a suggestion. You will never make it if patriotism is not taken seriously. All the lizards and the cockroaches and the grasshoppers who have been appointed. I'm not saying every appointee is a cockroach or a lizard, but I see a lot of cockroaches and lizards. With all respect. too many. Why don't we have such an outfit for patriotism? I know that the National Youth Authority is in charge of some level of patriotism, but much as it deals with some patriotism, I think we needed a whole outfit for patriotism. That is the backbone and foundation of every nation. For how long would Blakk Rasta continue saying this? No country has ever made it like the president wants us to make it if it never took patriotism seriously. Every nation is foundationed on patriotism, my brother. As long as patriotism is relegated to the background, my brother, my sister, there would never be a way. No way, my brother. And I am saying this from the very passionate bottom of my heart. Listen to me and listen attentively if you may, my brother, my sister. No nation on earth, and even in heaven or in hell, can ever make it if it's not foundationed on patriotism. Mr. President, now we have somebody who's in charge of advising the presidency on the 24-hour economy. Agribusiness is beautiful, it's nice. Why don't we have one for patriotism exclusively? I am a prophet of patriotism. I will die for patriotism. Look, I just returned from Burkina Faso. They have a saying in that country. I wish we could adopt it here. My brother, you know what they say? They say, la patrie ou la mort. La patrie ou la mort. And they have a way of responding. You know what it means? Is the country or death? If we don't have our country, then we prefer to die. And it was uttered by the great Sankara. Today, it is more relevant than when it was even then. Yes. La patrie ou la mort. The country or death. How many Ghanaians can genuinely say in their hearts that if they don't have their country, then they prefer to die? No, they will tell you, if we don't have it, then we go to America. If we don't have it, then we go to England. Yentena krofa ako enji enungwasie. Enti enungwasie betu mi Ghana. Say America wo. Ana England wo. Yentena krofa ako enji enungwasie. And to the average Ghanaian, this means that if you are in your own country or another country and there is a problem, why don't you leave it? It has its positives, but my brother, my sister, in these times we are looking at we are looking only at the negatives. Mr. President, with all love and respect, please, patriotism. I moved all over Ghana from one school to the other, talking to SHS students, because we need to catch them young, teaching them about patriotism, imbibing into their DNA the spirit of patriotism. Arise, Ghana youth, for your country. The nation demands your devotion. Let us all unite to uphold her and make her great and strong. We are all involved. We are all involved. We are all involved in building our motherland. How many Ghanaians know this song? Walk on the streets of Accra, right in front of the presidency, gather 100 people and ask them to sing this song, or at least mention the words. You'll be shocked that 99 don't know it. When was the last time you heard any such song on radio? Today we are celebrating the independence of this country. All we know is that there's a holiday. It's time for us to stay home and lazy up and still be paid for being lazy. It's time now to visit places that we haven't visited in a long time, to greet family and friends, and then go to our favorite restaurant. It's not about Ghana anymore. Mr. President, if we must live the dreams of our forebearers. I beg you with all respect. My brother, patriotism is more important than a 24-hour economy. Patriotism is more important than the economy of Ghana. Patriotism is more important than our own lives. La patrie ou la mort. The country or death. Last thing I want to look at, and I'm going to be running out of time, so I'm going to spend just 3 minutes on this. Ghana Web, he says, I was wrong. Afenyo Marking reveals regrets in turning down a progressive proposal from Bagbin. My God. I'm going to look at this so dispassionately, and I need you to come along. The minority leader, Alexander Kwamina Afenyo Markin, has expressed regret over rejecting a proposal from the Speaker of Parliament during the process of enacting new standing orders for the House. Speaking to the floor of Parliament on March 4, 2025, the minority leader, Afenyo Markin, disclosed that the Speaker had proposed that the minority leader be appointed as the chairman of the Appointments Committee of Parliament during the time when the New Patriotic Party held the majority. According to Afenyo Markin, the proposal was strongly rejected by his caucus, who felt that having the minority leader chair the committee would not be in their best interest. Mr. Speaker, I have a confession to make, and I'm not worried about how the media will take it. We make mistakes, and when we realize that this was a mistake, we admit. I recall when we were enacting these new standing orders, a proposal came from you that the minority leader should chair the Appointments Committee. Mr. Speaker, we disagreed with you. We were on the majority front bench because I felt like, hey, if the minority leader is going to chair the Appointment Committee, what will be our fate? Speaker, today I can tell you that you were looking in the beyond. Afenyo Markin stated. Hear me now, my youth. Much as I want to congratulate Afenyo Markin on this very bold step, I would also have something else to say. It's not easy for a man so partisan, inundated, to come out and speak against his own caucus in one way or the other. In politics, there's nothing like regret. In politics, there's nothing like an apology. In politics, there is nothing about the nation. It's all about the party. Political party. Sadly and so unashamedly. Can I go deeper? Watch this. Speaker of Parliament says, let the minority leader chair the Appointments Committee. Because first and foremost, when they are in opposition, that is when they bite the deepest. It is time for them to think the nation rather than the political party. When they are in opposition, hey, they are the most patriotic. Once they get into power, those who used to call you at midnight and disturb your sleep because you thought that you shared the same vision, you were ready to wake up and talk to them every time. Today, at 6 p.m., they are already sleeping because etiye ma awrefi. In our nation, it's no longer about the nation. It's all about our own personal, selfish, paragon comfort. Afenyo Markin has said it straight up. Hey, his caucus believed that it will not serve the interest of the political party. They were not thinking Ghana. When the Speaker of Parliament so selfishly, better still, so selflessly, came out and said, listen, in order to bite these appointees better, make the chairman, the Speaker, or the chairman be from the opposition. In other words, the minority. But they turned it down, only to go there and break the legs of tables and break microphones like vandals with no good training at home. Shame on you. Some dirty vandals broke tables and broke microphones. What happened to them? Are they paying for those 100-fold? Or they will just walk away for free? Because in this country, we have no respect for probity and accountability. No patriotism. Go to Burkina Faso. I just came back from Burkina Faso a few days ago. La patrie ou l'amour. Sankara said it. Are we ready for that? We are only interested in appointments. I hear some people that the president wanted to appoint. He called some of them and they were like, oh, Mr. President, in the Kasaninga, in other words, Mr. President, where you they put me there, you know, say nothing there. Why? You want a gold mine? You want to go to the Galamsey field? The president is appointing you because he believes in your capability and ability. Go and do the work. You say there's nothing there. Wallahi da kasani da mun samu dai wundan kadan kaskasin wallahi house no good. Allah kwa. You see the mentality. You see the mentality. Mr. President is appointing you, a cockroach like you, to go and work for Ghana. You want to work for your pocket. I don't envy Mr. President. I don't envy him. I support him, and I will continue to support him, stand by him, until it is proven that he is not ready for Ghana. And because it's all about Ghana, we shall strike. Like we struck the dirty Nana Akufo-Addo Bawumia government and sent them straight to hell, guilty as charged. I thank you.
Ya waleta matamsa